But what I was going to say was like, let's say that you found an Airbnb like in the mountains and you created this like experience for people that wanted to get away from everything, a retreat style or like a unplugging situation. I don't know. Like, I don't know what you could do there, but I could see you maybe owning a cabin with an Airbnb that you created this experience for people that's more than just the price of renting it for a night. It's more of an experience. And what happens is like I've noticed that let's say Airbnb, one cabin can be right next to another one, and the one of the cabins is making 6 figures more than the one right beside it. And it's always because there's an experience attached to the booking.
Yeah! What's up, everybody? Your life alchemist, your dragon. Welcome to Alchemize Life. I'm your host, Justin David Carl. This is a show where I seek out and share expertise, wisdom, and thought leadership in all domains with the mission of empowering and inspiring you to proactively design and truly live a life worth living. We're all in this together, and when we do the work together, we go so much farther, so much faster, and have so much more fun. Without further ado, let's dig into this episode and alchemize life. Felipe Mejia, welcome to the show, brother. It is so good to have you here with me to talk about all things money, personal finance, real estate, and more. I deeply appreciate you coming on the show, my brother.
Justin Dragon, what's up, dude? Hey, man, it's really a pleasure to be on here. I'm super excited. For everyone listening, before we got started, Justin made a comment to me because my ring light isn't great. And I'm like, we're trying to figure this out. And I'm like, dude, I need another ring light. He's like, yeah, we're all a work in progress. And I laugh because on the inside, I'm like, says the guy with an 8-pack, beautiful pictures on Instagram, freaking chiseled by God himself. And I'm like, yeah, dude, whatever. Not all of us are at work. Some of us are already look perfect.
I wasn't always that way. I put a lot of work into it, and it's a daily investment. But you're making me blush. I deeply appreciate it, man.
Would you say that fitness is a daily habit or more of a routine? Like, what makes some people successful in their health journey?
It is a habit, a mindset, and a lifestyle.
If you could pick one.
Lifestyle.
So you have to live it.
100%, because like if it's your lifestyle, it's naturally a part of your mindset, and it's a naturally a part of your habits. But if it's not part of your lifestyle, then like it doesn't matter. Like I always tell people, start with a mindset and like start to adopt the lifestyle, and then you start to develop the habits. But like habits is the micro, right? And then mindset is kind of like a little bit more macro, and then lifestyle is even more macro, right? Like if you live a fit lifestyle. So for me, it's all about living the fit rich lifestyle and fit rich vegan lifestyle, of course. But yeah. You know, I'm not a zealot. Like I don't need everyone to be vegan. I just say eat more plants. You'll be healthier, happier, live longer. It's better for the environment and better for all living beings. But let's talk about who you are, brother. I appreciate the compliments to get us kicked off. He's trying to take over the show, but I like it. So yeah, so Felipe is a real estate investor. He is also owns Rat Race to Fi and REI Call Center. He's a father, a husband, and a Christian. And he's got great Instagram content all about real estate and more. And we originally connected on Instagram back in 2020 of March because I heard your interview on Bigger Pockets Money.
Right.
And I was like, oh, dude, I totally need to connect with this dude. And this was way back before I had a podcast. And now that I finally got a podcast, now I get to pick your brain and, you know, use you to help myself level up and help all the listeners level up their money and finance and real estate game. So to kind of kick things off, yeah, you got to give me the FI/real estate origin story. How did it all start? Where'd you come from? How'd you get there? Let us know.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I can attribute it to a lot of different things. But after doing, a couple hundred interviews, I've realized 100 is probably much, but a good amount of interviews. I've realized that the reason and the origin for my real estate came my parents' divorce. And it's like, whoa, what a great way to start the podcast, right? My parents got divorced when I was 11. And like in the Latin culture, like men go to work, women stay home, clean house, like very, throwback. Not that it's right. It's just the way that it is. And when my dad left, then so did the finances in our house.
Mm.
And I quickly realized that, like, I always tell people I never felt poor, right, when my dad left, but I always felt like the water was right at my throat. But then my mom had the bright idea to, like, the last like 15 G's that she had from the divorce, she converted the basement in our house into living quarters, like rooms,
Mm.
and she would rent those out to construction workers because that's all she knew, to construction workers, and that ended up covering our mortgage. And at the moment, I hated it. Like during middle school and high school, and like I was like, why do we always have people living in our basement? Like it's creeper level 1,000. But like I didn't realize the sacrifice that my mom was making for us. And then when I got older and graduated college and kind of was looking for my way in life, I realized that there was power in that. And I was like, okay, my mom was onto something. Like she never had a mortgage payment. So the waters kind of felt more like we could breathe a little bit. We're still not eating, steaks and lobsters or whatever, but or in your case, what is a fancy meal for you? But like we quickly realized, like I was like, okay, there's something to this as I got older. Now, obviously, I'm skipping a whole bunch of steps there, but you asked me like the origin story. It came from my parents' divorce. Like I realized that taking away your largest monthly expense now gives you options. Now, what you do with those options is going to put you on the path to financial freedom, excess wealth, and all that. But without that like original plan, I don't think I would be where I'm at today.
That's awesome. So basically, your mom was house hacking before like house hacking was like a known thing.
Oh, bro. In like 2001, my mom started house hacking before it was cool. And that's what really kind of allowed us to keep the house, stay a family together. Like my mom risked it for the biscuit type thing. It was great.
Yeah, that's super beautiful. Awesome. And isn't it funny how as kids, like some of the things our parents do, it like drives us crazy. And then when we get older, we realize like how freaking wise they were.
Bro, quite literally my financial independence, not wealth and anything past that, but the beginning of my financial independence, I have 8 or 9 single family homes that I do the exact same thing my mom did to keep us afloat. So
Mm-hmm.
I've converted the upstairs and the downstairs. I'm actually under contract to do another one
Mm-hmm.
where the cash flow basically doubles because you do that.
Yeah. All right. So you finish college. Obviously, you're not financially independent yet. Do you like go into the world of like, work, or do you go immediately into real estate?
Yeah, so when I was in college, my goal was to be a police officer. So I was kicked out of high school for marijuana when I was in high school, and a police officer basically was like, "Dude, your life is over. You've thrown it away." Like, and his last words to me were like, or his second to last words to me was like, "Felipe, just why don't you care, bro?" Because like I was just like I wasn't replying to him, and I looked up and I said, "Well, why do you?" And he said, "Why don't you?" I was like, "Why don't I care?" Like, huh. I don't know why that hit me. So then after that, I graduated high school, ended up going to alternative school and then back to a Christian school to graduate. When I went to college, I was like, I want to be a police officer. Like that was crazy what that guy told me. Like it kind of struck something in me. I was like, I want to be able to do that for somebody one day. But after I graduated college, like my pursuit for the police department just wasn't working out. Like it was interesting because when you're on the path that you're supposed to be in life, in my opinion, things are easy. And when you're outside of the realm that you're supposed to be in, what I call like when I'm outside of God's path, like it was hard for me. Like apparently God didn't want me to be a cop, I guess, or something, because I could not get in the door. I'm bilingual. I'm born and raised in Antioch, where I wanted to do what I wanted to be a police officer. I have a bachelor's degree, which you don't require. I graduated 4-year college in 3 years, so I can get in quick. And it just wasn't working out for me. I felt like I was uphill. I was like begging to be a cop, and I was like, guys, this shouldn't be that hard. Something is not aligned. So I couldn't break through that barrier of entry. So then I ended up working on a construction site. And there's actually a YouTube video out there in the World Wide Web where I was like shooting a video on the construction site, cleaning, picking up like the sticks that was the video that I made to get on the Bigger Pockets podcast, where I talk about my 10 deals that I had done in real estate. So I graduated college, didn't get into the police department, and I was like, I got to figure something else out. So I went to go work on the construction sites, did a bunch of odd jobs, and during that time found Bigger Pockets, read Rich Dad Poor Dad, kind of the same routine that every other investor has. And then I was like, okay. One of the saddest parts about this though, Dragon, was like I couldn't wrap my head around me being able to be an investor because I didn't know anybody who was an investor. All I knew, and this is going to sound funny to those that are in real estate, all I knew was plumbers, electricians, framers, flooring installer, tile guys, contractors. I thought that I didn't know anybody in real estate, but like I did. And it was interesting because once it clicked for me, it was so much easier. Anyways, all that to say, I saved up a bunch of money from the construction site. After 2 years of just good and bad information, I bought my first real estate deal, and I just kind of hit the ground running and never stopped.
That's awesome. So just to recap, basically you spent 2 years learning and earning from construction before you got your first place, your first property. Is that correct?
So yes and no. My first investment property, yes. My mom gifted me her half of a mobile home ownership. So her half ownership in a mobile home, she had a partner, and she gave me that. I bought out the other partner, and that's how my real estate career started when I first got into college. Now I always say I don't count that as my first deal because I was gifted that, whether it was $3,000 or $1 million like Trump. Like I cannot say that I did this alone.
Yeah.
So my first deal was that mobile home, but like my first individual was 2 years after college.
Your mom's just playing the foundational piece in your
Bro.
FI journey, dude.
Bro, couldn't have done it without her. No questions asked.
Well, it's awesome that you obviously give her the props and respect due. That's very beautiful. Okay, so you get your first, your first self-purchased property after 2 years. What age are you when you buy this first one?
Yeah, so let's see. I graduated 22 years old, and then I bought my first real estate deal at 25, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And do you mind me asking how old you are now?
Yeah, I'm 32.
32. Cool. Awesome. All right. So you get that first place. Bigger Pockets is playing a big role. Rich Dad Poor Dad kind of helped set the foundation for that. Was there any other kind of like resources, workshops, education you got that were particularly valuable for you getting that first place, as well as, as you continued on in the RE journey?
Yeah, so I would have to contribute a lot of it to that Bigger Pockets podcast, just listening to all the different characters basically that were on there and like attaching myself to those that I felt most like in common with. Unfortunately, there wasn't like a ton of Latino on the podcast, but I still attached myself to certain stories, like struggles and tribulations and all that. Now, where I think people need to be careful is getting over information. So, for example, on one of the podcasts, I heard that if you're not employed, then you have to have 2 years of work history before you can buy a rental property. 2 years of taxes of self-employed. So, Dragon, that is where I waited 2 years to buy real estate, where I could have just gone with a hard money lender or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I thought that was the only way to get involved. So, I literally spent 2 years waiting to jump in, where I didn't have to.
Interesting. Okay, and can you give the audience, for some of the audience, they're not going to know what the heck Bigger Pockets is. Can you give us like a quick explanation?
Bigger Pockets is a real estate education platform. You can go to biggerpockets.com. You can find podcasts, resources. You can find a bunch of things that'll help you in your real estate journey to get started. It's a great way to get started, in my opinion, but definitely do research outside of that. Like there's so many different ways to get into real estate. And where I have found the most like issues for when people get started is that everything works. So there's different like worlds inside of real estate. There's wholesaling, there's realtors, flipping, Airbnb, like the list goes on. And what's crazy is all of them work. So you have to find what you're passionate about in real estate and then pursue that first.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. How do you figure out what you're passionate about in real estate? Like you just like
yeah, great question.
Like gravitate towards what sounds interesting to you, or like how would you uh, coach me? Like I don't
Yeah, absolutely.
know
Yeah.
what
So
I'd
I
be
started a
interested
company
in.
called Rat Race to Fi, which is my mastermind, where we help people find that, right? Their passion in real estate. I'll give you one of the best stories that I like. So, for example, Diana. Diana is in California and she works for the city with just people that need like more resources, not necessarily homeless people, but they're going to be maybe mental health issues. Like, so she's like kind of in that world. And she first started in real estate. She was like, oh, I think I'm going to try to flip a property. And then she was like, I'm going to try to buy and hold for cash flow in Florida. So she was like, maybe cash flow is my passion, or I want to reach financial independence. So maybe I should go this route. So she jumped around to the different avenues of real estate. And then she found Airbnb and she blew up, blossomed, killed it. And we realized that she had a passion for helping people, right? Because of her job. And that's exactly what Airbnb is. You're a host to someone that's going to rent a house. And if their toaster doesn't work, their microwave is not working. Like me, I cannot host. I have 4 Airbnbs myself. I'm a terrible host. I'm like, dude, I don't care. Go to Walmart, get a toaster. Like, why are you bugging me? But Diana would be like, oh, I'm going to overnight you one from Amazon plus some coffee for Starbucks for your time. I apologize, yada, yada, yada. So, like, she found her passion in real estate that directly correlated to the things she studied in college and the things that she was actively doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's say that you're a great interior designer, then maybe flipping properties is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say that, like Diana, who like cared about her community and wanted to give back, Airbnb just kind of fit right in, except now she's getting paid double, triple what she was making. So, like, finding your correlation of what you are passionate and love, and then make sure that there's plenty of money in it in real estate, which there will be, and just marrying the two together,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, for example, you're big into fitness and health and wealth, and I think I see on here that I don't know if you wrote a book, or I mean, you clearly care about like your body, your people around you, and things like that. So maybe you would have an Airbnb with experiences. So
Mm-hmm.
you could create an Airbnb where you like it was all surrounded around the things that you're passionate about, and you would be surprised you're not the only one in that sphere. There's
Mm-hmm.
hundreds and thousands and millions of people that love what you love. And if you created, let's say, an Airbnb around that, right? An experience around staying at your Airbnb, you're probably going to crush it. It's interesting because, and I hope I'm not going down a rabbit
No,
hole here,
this is
Dragon, but
amazing. I'd never thought about like, so Airbnb sounds like too much work for me personally. But now that
yep.
you're like, what if it was like this incredible like fitness slash well-being destination place where like I would want to go there and I would want to take my like or send like my online coaching clients to. Like
Yep.
now I'm like lighting up and getting a little excited. Like that would be fucking cool as shit.
And you would do great at it. But me, probably wouldn't. So that is where I help people in my mastermind find their passion in regards to real estate, or how to blend them. And that is when people, dude, oh my gosh, Dragon, it takes a life of its own. And they're like, all right, Felipe, thanks. And then they just take off.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say was like, let's say that you found an Airbnb like in the mountains and you created this like experience for people that wanted to get away from everything, a retreat style or like a unplugging situation. I don't know what you could do there, but I could see you maybe owning a cabin with an Airbnb that you created this experience for people that's more than just the price of renting it for a night. It's more of an experience. And what happens is like I've noticed that let's say Airbnb, one cabin can be right next to another one, and the one of the cabins is making 6 figures more than the one right beside it. And it's always because there's an experience attached to the booking.
Hmm.
It's something that people are passionate about.
Hey there, just a few words about the incredible show sponsors for today's episode, and then we'll dig right back in. Today's show is brought to you by Veg Nutrition. Live better. So I'm actually a veg elite athlete, and before I joined the team, I spent months doing my due diligence to make sure that the company was vision, mission, and value aligned with me, my values, my mission, my vision, and my lifestyle. I got to know the owners super well. I even got to know the person who formulates all the products, and they passed with flying colors. So I couldn't be more excited to represent a company that I feel so aligned with. And I want to tell you about two of my favorite products. The first is the veg pre workout. So when I first went vegan or mostly vegan, the last thing for me to go fully vegan was finding a vegan pre workout that gave me the focus, the energy, and the power that I was looking for. And I can tell you, this is the best pre workout that I've ever had. It gives me incredible focus and energy. And what's probably the best is it leaves me with no crash after I take it, which is great. And the flavors are so freaking good. There's literally peach mango and a Patriot Pop that tastes like, the firecracker popsicles, cherry lemon lime flavor. They're literally so good that I can dry scoop them. And they just released a watermelon flavor for just in time for summer, and it's incredible. So that's the first product. The second product is arguably also my favorite, and that's the plant protein. Comes in three incredible flavors: chocolate peanut butter, vanilla ice cream, and cold brew coffee. Yep, you heard me. Cold brew coffee flavor. It tastes incredible, all three flavors, 25 grams of protein, fully organic, incredible ingredients, heavy metal tested, and it is my go-to post workout. Make sure that I'm recovering and refueling and giving my muscles the protein that they need to rebuild for that next workout. So go to vegnutrition.com/dragon and try their full line of supplements, and you'll get 15% off. Or you can just use Dragon at checkout and you'll get 15% off. So that's vegnutrition.com/dragon to get 15% off. Veg Nutrition, live better. Yeah, you got my wheels churning. Like the reason I'm like people can't see us, but like I'm pausing because I'm literally just thinking about this. So like my brother and I 50-50 own my mom's property, and she actually gifted that to us. You know what I mean? She has she's able to live in it until she passes, but it's already in our name. But it's like 20 acres, 5 or 6 bedrooms, built in like 2000. It's pretty new. It's got a garage that has a studio above it. And she currently rents out a lot of the rooms to kind of like, fund her retired life. But I'm like, we could potentially create like an incredible, like, it's like up in the mountains that has incredible view of Blue Mountain. It's like so epic and beautiful up there, especially during the summer. And that could totally be like a destination, and we could like develop parts of the property to like create like various like well-being aspects, put in like an incredible gym, then I'd be even more excited to go there and visit mom. Yeah. So now you got me totally thinking, which is crazy. And then could potentially also do the same thing with my dad's property. He has a waterfront property and a decent amount of land. So, wow, you got me. I'm so grateful we're doing this. Okay, cool. So you get your first, let's go back to your story, and then we'll get back into you coaching me as well as coaching other people just trying to get started on their FI journey or their real estate journey. So you get your first property at 25. Obviously, you're not financially independent and you're still kind of like trying to figure things out. Like, how do you go from like property one to the next property, and like take us through, kind of the journey from property one to like where you felt like, holy shit, I made it. I'm financially independent. I never have to work again or worry about money.
Yeah. So let me start with this quick question here, Justin. Would you agree that money does not buy you health?
100% agree.
Okay. Would you agree that a bunch of coaches will sell you on the dream that money can buy you health? Hey, pay me $10,000. I'm going to show you how to have 12-pack abs, whatever. So that is what happens in real estate. You're going to buy real estate with one of two things. You're going to buy real estate with money or knowledge. Mm-hmm. And you can run out of money, but you cannot run out of knowledge. So I'll preface the rest of the story with that. Okay. Just like you can't buy your health with money.
So
Or you, yeah.
I actually have to jump in because the way I got into incredible shape is because I finally got a fitness coach.
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree that money can buy you like a fast pass, if you will, at Disney World, right? But I want to preface this interview with you don't need money to get healthy. You don't need money to buy real estate. All you need is knowledge. Does money get you to skip the line? 100%. I can buy way more real estate now than I could before. But when people get started, their biggest fear is, oh, I don't have any money to get started, which is why, Justin, it took me 2 years to get started because I didn't have the knowledge or the money. So I tell people all the time, make sure you know what you're doing before you try to fix a problem with money. So that's what I'm saying, right? I agree. Dude, oh my gosh, if I would have had a coach when I started real estate investing, oh, that would have been fantastic because I would have avoided those 2 years.
Yeah.
So I spent my time instead of spending my knowledge to get me more money. See, it's time. I think it's time, money, and knowledge. And I always tell people try to spend their money and then they run out in their first deal.
Yeah.
So I preface that with saying this. I bought my first real estate deal with money, not knowledge. And I hated it because I didn't know what I actually wanted. I thought I just wanted cash flow, but I didn't realize that money and cash flow is just a vehicle to get you somewhere. So I got my first deal. It was giving me $1,200 in cash flow. So I got to jump into a vehicle, right, of cash flow, but I didn't know where the hell I was going, Justin. I got in a really nice car and I just sat there. I didn't even know how to turn it on, right? I was like, great, I got cash flow, but what now? I hated it. Dude, I legit hated that property.
Why did you hate it?
Then I realized, I hated it because it took up my time, like from my family. It took up my mental state, my health, dude. It was terrible. All it did was give me money. And if you buy real estate for just the money, you're going to get burnt out. So what happened was I sat down and I read a book called Lifeonaire, not Millionaire.
I've heard of this book, but I haven't read it yet.
So I read that book and I realized that it wasn't millionaire that I wanted. I wanted life. I wanted to be rich in life. Like Bob Marley said, if you count your riches with money, you're the poorest man in the world. So I was like, I wanted to be rich in life and air. So I sold the property. I got my gains out of it. And I bought one single family home in Nashville, Tennessee in cash. By any real estate investor's perspective, that's the dumbest thing you can do because I didn't leverage any of that money. I bought a house cash. That house now gives me about $3,000 a month in cash flow. And it was the biggest breath of fresh air I've ever had, Justin, because it takes up none of my time to manage. I make $3,000 in cash flow, 100% mine. And to this day, it's been one of my best purchases ever. It's given me everything that I have now. And it gave me half of my financial independence in one swing. Does that make sense, Justin?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, that's what I want. So the thing that I value almost the most is my time. The thing before this, and it's a new realization, equal or before time is attention, right? So what you give your attention to dictates how you spend your time.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, those are very close. I'd have to sit down.
Yeah, I was listening to Sam Harris, and people can, like, I'll leave a link to him, but he has a podcast called Waking Up, and I was like, literally just learning this yesterday, and I was like, that's so true, because like, if I have a bunch of free time, but I'm giving my attention to stuff that doesn't light me up, doesn't like, fit my values, then like, it doesn't matter how much free time I have. So I was like, I've been thinking, like, stewing on it the last day, but like, so for me right now, like, sure, I'd love to make more money because like I enjoy the process of making money, but I don't want to spend time or attention doing types of real estate that may not be interesting to me. That's why when you said this, like, fitness destination Airbnb, I'm like, wait a minute, that's attention that would be time well spent. Whereas like, if I just, like you, that first property that took up all your time and took time away from your family, like that would, I'd be like, real estate sucks. Like, what am I doing? I'm getting back out of this. So how did you get this property? You said Nashville, that the Golden Nugget.
Yeah. So I sold the property that I had bought because I hated it. Purchased a single family home cash that took up none of my time to manage, or very minimal. And I realized that, like you just said, attention, that's where, remember I told you I bought like 8 or 9 of those in Nashville?
Mm-hmm.
I bought that first one cash, and then I used knowledge to buy the rest of the ones that are just like that one.
Mm-hmm. And
so I used,
help me understand. I don't know where Antioch is. I don't even know what state that is.
yeah, it's just Nashville, Tennessee. It's a sub-city inside of Nashville.
Okay, so you bought somewhat within your geography.
Correct.
Okay.
Right in my backyard, basically.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking is because I live in the Bay Area, where like the price to get into real estate is incredibly high.
Yeah, absolutely. And I honestly believe it's because, and I don't want to like blame you, but it's because you're looking at it with dollars and not knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, try to keep that in mind when you're doing this. When you're buying real estate, say, am I buying this with money or knowledge?
Mm.
So I'll show you an email after this call where we're not recorded, how my bank buys all my houses for me.
Mm-hmm.
I bring closing costs maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you an email of what I tell the bank how to get my houses for free now with knowledge. I don't buy them with money. Literally, your knowledge, you can cash that in for houses.
That's amazing.
So sure, the Bay Area is expensive, but I'm sure I can buy houses there for free too.
Yeah. And one thing I like to call out for the listeners, and I think you know this inherently and you're just not calling out, knowledge is potential power. Knowledge put into action is power.
Correct. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to call that out for the audience. Is like, 100%. Oh, I'm just going to spend all this time like learning about real estate. Well, if you don't do anything, then nothing's going to change. So, okay. So you bought a bunch of properties in Nashville, and, basically at 25, how long until you felt like you're financially free, where like basically all like you would never ever run out of money, all paid work is optional? Like, when did you start to be like, holy shit, like I made it?
Yeah. So after buying those houses in Nashville, pandemic hit in 2020. Holy cow, that was 2 years ago. And that January or February, I was doing real estate, and at the same time I had a small moving company where I was using that to help me fund deals for down payments and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then just literally, I remember my wife telling me one day, like, hey, if the spreadsheets are right, like, we're financially independent. The rents cover everything. And I think she did that for 2 reasons. One, obviously, because pandemic had hit. But 2, she saw that if I had put my mind, like what you said earlier, which is now blowing my mind, like I blew yours earlier, where I was putting my attention was real estate and the moving company. So they were both growing slowly. Mm-hmm. But if I put all my attention into business in real estate, then I took off. And that's what she believed in me. So once I quit, when just my bills were paid, I'm like, I still wasn't driving a Ferrari, or, I wasn't eating at the nicest restaurants. Like, we were still like having to be savvy, but all my bills were paid.
Mm-hmm.
And that opened up my bandwidth once I quit my job and focused full time on real estate. And that's what really like took me off.
And by quit your job, do you mean like you stopped working with the moving company, or like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Quit my job.
I quit. I shut down the moving company that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the day my wife was like, hey, you're good. Like, we're financially independent through the rent that's coming in from the properties.
Okay. And so that was right around the beginning of 2020, right around when you like got on Bigger Pockets Money podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So you've been financially independent for the last two and a half years. All right. And so basically you hit FI at 30 ish.
Yeah. 29, 30 ish, right in that time frame. Yeah.
Okay. So basically it was 4 to 5 years from the time that you got into real estate to the point where you were financially independent, and I assume probably reached millionaire status around the same time.
Yeah. So financial independence, I would say that year. So in that year of 2020, I hit financial independence and then crossed the millionaire mark by net worth with the value of the properties, cash flow coming in, et cetera. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
And
you,
what I did was I didn't refinance any of my deals. I just put lines of credit on the equity
mhm,
because I knew eventually a bear market was going to hit and I didn't want to lose my equity, but I also didn't want to be in debt on it and give it away at 75% to the bank.
mhm,
So I just put a line of credit so I have access to that money, but keeping my high cash flow. Because I didn't refinance, my loans were low and I didn't refinance to a higher mortgage, but I still had access to that equity by having a line of credit on the equity of the deal. Does that make sense?
sort of.
All right, let me try again.
Yeah.
If I have two houses and they're both worth 200,000 and I owe 100,000 on both, my mortgage on both is 800 bucks.
Mhm.
Okay. So if I refinance one of those to 180, even though they're worth 200, my mortgage is going to go up, meaning I'm probably not going to have any money in cash flow because my mortgage went up, but my tenant's rent hasn't gone up as well. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But I gave up 100%, 100,000 in equity to get $80,000 in cash out. Make sense?
Yep.
That's a refinance. On the other side, and this is what I preach, I don't do refinance. I preach to my students line of credit. So what I tell them is instead of refinancing $100,000 out or $80,000 out of $100,000 equity and raising your mortgage payment, get a line of credit on the equity. So if you have 100,000, they'll give you $80,000 line of credit, same as the refi,
Hmm.
but your mortgage doesn't go up until you use that line of credit. So once you use any portion of it, 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, your mortgage doesn't go up, your payment on the line of credit does. But if you don't use it, then it doesn't go up. Most people don't have a deal lined up right after.
Mm.
So you only pay when you use it and then you pay it back and you can use it again. With a refinance, you can only use it once.
Yeah. Okay. Now I get it. It's basically maximizing your time and money. So like you're not putting it into play until you need it. Therefore, you're saving those like months of extra, higher mortgage up until you find that next deal. And then you have that next deal, which is potentially cash flowing. And then like, yeah, okay. Totally makes sense, dude.
Wheels are turning.
Yeah. No, this is great. This is like why I wanted to talk to you. And I'm sure if I didn't get it the first time, a ton of listeners also didn't get it. It just like flew over the head. So thank you for slowing it down for those of us who aren't as wise in real estate as you are. Okay.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Okay. So I think this kind of like flows into perfectly into like advice for someone who's just getting started out on their money journey. Like, like let's say it's a 22-year-old version of you or like your kind of cohort of friends back then. Like, we all go through that. Like, if I had known what I knew now, I'd be so much farther ahead.
I would have got started earlier, Dragon. I think everyone's going to say that, but I really wish that I would have known what I know now earlier. The money is great, but the knowledge is what I would have told myself. I would be like, look, you don't need to wait 2 years to get started. Yes, you can use hard money. It's okay. Like, you're going to be fine. Use your age and that you are willing to listen and learn and read as many books as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So like my biggest piece of advice to people is like never stop learning while you're earning.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's so quotable. We might have to put that as a quotable quote in the show notes.
Thank you.
I don't know if you stole that from somebody else, but man, Felipe, that's a good one. Never stop learning while you're earning.
Yeah, I mean, just don't.
No, it's genius. I mean, I feel like never stop learning, period, but especially while you're earning. Okay. So, basically a 22-year-old who has no freaking money can actually get started in real estate if they take the time and energy to learn.
Yeah, I would. I always tell the younger cats in their young 20s, like 20, 21, just want to get started. I'm like, dude, pick up a book. I know that high school and college sucked for reading, but if you can focus on learning, your learning is going to directly correlate how much you earn.
Mm-hmm.
Like how much value you bring to a conversation is going to dictate what rooms you get into.
Mm-hmm.
So always be learning. And then the second thing that I always tell people, and it's interesting because I don't think anyone says this advice, but it's learn to play these three games. Learn to play golf, chess, and spades. 3 different games, 3 different conversations.
Okay, break that down for me because I don't play golf, I don't play chess, and I don't play spades. So why would...
Okay. I'll make it really simple. Rich white people play golf. You want to get look, can we keep it real on this
Hey,
podcast?
of
If not,
course,
just tell me to get
100%.
off
We can
now.
swear,
Okay.
we can be.
Rich white people play golf, and I need to get into those rooms.
Mhm.
So I got to pick up a golf club.
Gotcha.
People at my level right now invite me to go play golf. They don't invite me to board meetings.
Yeah.
Yo, let's go play golf. I don't know how to play golf. I'm not getting into those rooms,
Yeah.
in those meetings. Learn to play golf now. Chess. Chess is going to allow you to sit down with somebody and have at least a 30, 45-minute uninterrupted conversation where they are having to use their brain power. So they're going to be very, what's the word for it? Creative, if you will.
Mhm.
So they're going to be spilling the beans. It's kind of like getting somebody behind a beer.
Yeah,
But I'm not going to invite
literally,
someone.
that was my first thought. It's like when you're focused on chess, all your brain power is like on the chess, and you're
Juicing.
like, you're just kind of like more free flow with all the other information. You may answer a question in way more detail than you would with, like, if you weren't focused on chess, you'd pause and like maybe like filter more of it. But because you're like so focused on chess and everybody wants to win,
That's right,
especially
baby.
rich men and women,
Yeah.
they want to win,
Yeah.
even in the game of chess. That's genius, dude. Okay, what about spades? This is gold right
And
here.
and then spades is going to be a game of stress. You're going to see how people play under stress, whether they're honest, whether they're cheating, whether they don't like to lose a game. It puts people in a high stress situation like spades, and you get to see who they are behind that person. Now, like I said, not everyone plays spades, but not everyone plays chess, and not everyone plays golf.
Yeah.
But the people that do play those, you want to put them in that situation and find out what they're about. I really like right now golf because I've realized that some people don't do well under the pressure of golf. It's like if me and my partner are talking while this guy's ready to swing and he's like, "Hey guys, keep it down." I'm like, "This dude doesn't do well under stress.
Mhm.
He's freaking out. It goes to his head."
Mhm.
Somebody I don't want to invest with.
Hmm.
Right away, I don't invest with him. But if we are cutting up, he's playing, he's not taking it too serious, but he still has an attitude of wanting to win, a little bit aggressive here, but like I can be like, talking crap with my buddy in the background and he's laughing but swinging, he messes up, it doesn't go to his head, he doesn't take it too serious.
Yeah.
I like this guy. Let's see what's going on.
That's genius. Okay. So this is really interesting that we're having this conversation because, for the company that I'm founding team member of, like I've strategically stayed as our like top salesperson because I don't want to manage people. And I love just like pitching and presenting and like sharing the vision and mission of the company.
Mhm.
But he's my sales mentor because he's like a top salesperson at a huge tech firm. And like, he's very into golf, and we were talking about golf and we are talking about financial independence because golf is not a cheap game. And
Right.
he was like, well, as you're going on your financial journey, you don't have to be a part of the country club necessarily. You can go play at the cheaper places. But then, and this is me connecting the what you said and he said, then if some rich white dude invites you to come play at his country club, it's probably going to be
Right.
paid for. And then you have already at least enough of, golf skill to like play with them and spend what's a golf game take? 3 hours?
3-4 hours.
Yeah, 3 to 4
or 4
hours, like just basically getting free mentoring and, potential access to deals or opportunities, which is
Right.
genius. So I think as soon as you said golf, I was like, well, I don't want to waste my money on golf because it's super expensive. I'm not interested. But like, I could go learn to play like for super cheap at like, as an alumni of Stanford, I could probably play at the Stanford course, which is right next to my house, like for super cheap. And then I would run into rich ass alumni there who would have all sorts of opportunities for me.
Yeah, it's the cost of opportunity, man. Like, let's say you wanted
Got
to
me
take down that
excited right
Airbnb.
now.
Let's say you wanted to do that Airbnb Oasis that you were talking about. You already have the following and the clientele. What if you just got some dude on the golf course that can afford to be there and not have to run a business making millions? Say, hey, I'll fund half of that, or I'll fund 100% of it for half of the equity and half of the cash flow. Now you got 100% funding because you took a couple freaking lessons. So let's say somebody wants to invest $500,000 with you and you spent $5,000 learning how to play golf. I mean, what's the ROI on that?
Hey there, just a few words about the incredible show sponsors for today's episode, and then we'll dig right back in. This show is brought to you by Feel Free from Botanic Tonics. This product is unlike anything I've ever had before. No joke. It's made with kava root and other ancient plants, and just half a shot gives me this incredible sense of focused flow and productivity. And I love to take just half a shot right before I work out. I take it with my pre workout, and it takes my workouts to the next level. It is seriously unlike anything I've ever had. It's also an incredible productivity tool for any big work projects that you have, or long periods of time where you just need to be super focused in flow state and get a lot of shit done. So, if you want to give this a shot, you can go to botanictonics.com and use code DRAGON at checkout to get 40% off your first order. No joke. 40% off with code DRAGON. That's feel free from botanictonics.com, code DRAGON. Feel free, feel good. Dude, I'm so glad we connected. I hope the audience is getting as much value as I am right now, because I'm just and I guess I want to call out for the audience the situation that I'm kind of that's unfolding in my mind right now. There is a version of that in everybody's life, no matter where you live and what you do for work and where you are. If you're open to that possibility and you start to think at the level that Felipe is thinking at, then these opportunities will become available for you. And dude, I don't even know what spades is, to be honest. Obviously I played chess as a kid, but I don't think I've played chess in probably 20 years, but that's genius. Okay, cool. I think I'm so lost in this incredible wisdom that you shared that I don't even know where we were. Okay. Oh, the advice that you give someone, basically, and this was the advice that you give them, is learn these 3 games, read some books. One of the questions I wanted to ask you was what books would you recommend, both to the 22-year-old as well as somebody like me who is 40, financially independent, but not into real estate yet?
Yeah, I would start with Life and Air so that you can figure out your why. Why are you doing this? Because you're going to get a 3 a.m. call that the toilet's busted.
Yep.
And as a millionaire, as financially free, as a successful entrepreneur, that sucks. I'm dude, why are you calling me?
Yeah.
But if you have a strong why, okay, this guy called me that his toilet broke, but I'm also sitting in Cancun at the Ritz drinking a Corona with my best friend. Bro, all of a sudden the call is not too bad.
Yeah.
Right? It's that's not that bad.
But what if I don't even want that? And I'm saying for those...
Yeah, then you just get a property manager. So I don't get those calls anymore.
Yeah.
When I started, I did.
Yeah.
But now I have a property manager that handles that stuff.
Okay.
Because your money goes to that. So you asked me what books. I would start with Life and Air to give yourself a bigger why.
Mm-hmm.
What is the reason? And if your answer is money, in my opinion, you're going to fail.
Yeah. My answer is not money.
No, not you. I just meant for the listeners.
Yeah.
If you're answering, oh, Felipe, okay, I want to do this because of money, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
If you have to have a bigger why, just like me, right? My why is my time, which then equates to family time, friends time, etc. Wanting to do whatever I want, time with who I want.
Your new why is
time
and attention on the right things that
I
reflect
like
your values.
I'm going to ponder on that more.
Yeah.
So I would say Life and Air for sure. Why the Rich Are Getting Richer by Robert Kiyosaki. Everyone already knows Rich Dad Poor Dad, so I don't even have to throw that into the mix. And then probably I really like, and it's not a popular book, but I really like the book Outwitting the Devil.
Who's that by?
Dude, that's a great question. Let me Google that real quick because I cannot remember. And I was just thinking that. Outwitting the Devil. I think it's by, oh shoot, who is it?
It's not Napoleon Hill, is it? Am I crazy for thinking?
It's Napoleon Hill.
Okay,
yeah,
I started reading that actually. I didn't finish it, but
read it, bro. Oh my gosh, when he starts interviewing the devil on stuff, it's a great book.
Okay, cool. Those are awesome resources. Okay, what about any podcasts, blogs, etc.?
Yeah,
and again,
so
this
Rat
is
Race
for the
to
person
Buy
getting
My
started, and whether they're 22 or 40 like me.
Yeah, absolutely. You're 40?
It's that fit, rich, vegan lifestyle, buddy.
Jesus. I need to look like that when I get to 40.
Yeah, buddy.
I was like, wait, you're 40?
This is how I convert people.
Yeah, I guess so. You got some secret water you're not telling everyone about. That's what it is.
It's green water.
It's green water. There you go. I would start with, look, Rat Race to Fi. Selfish plug here. My mastermind has a podcast where we interview all sorts of people.
Mhm.
There's not a criteria. It's just about real estate and like how they've started their journey. So Rat Race to Fi podcast is a great way, in my opinion, to get people to get started listening. And then just consuming as much real estate related books that you can for people that have their why.
Mhm.
So I go back to that. Don't go down the rabbit hole of Airbnb if it doesn't correlate with your why and your passion.
Yeah.
Because a minute ago you probably hated Airbnb, but now you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, now you open my
Now
eye up to it.
could
Well, it's
make
not
sense.
that I hate it. It sounded like interesting, but like way too much
It's a lot of
work
work.
because like, you know,
But what if that work was the passion that you have about creating health in
yeah,
people?
I mean, the
right?
reason I
All
started
of
a
a sudden,
coaching,
it's like, wait
a
a minute.
fitness coaching business and like a fitness and money coaching business is because I coach people for free on fitness and money. So I was like, and I love it because I love talking about it. So why don't I turn that into a business? So now that like you help me understand, like, here's a way I could get into real estate where I'd be like, yo, you got to come like check out my property. It is so amazing. And like, heck, I'm going to go stay there next weekend. Like, do you want to meet me there? Like, we'll hang out. Like
how simple would it be for you to get 10 people to pay $10,000 to spend a weekend with you and just like repurposing their life into health and wealth and just maybe doing a detox, right? And like,
you're making me
dude,
so
like,
excited right now.
you could change 10 people's lives. And earlier I told you, and you agreed, that money does not buy health. So someone dishing out 10 grand to you to say, dude, yeah, I definitely need a detox. I need to come back a different person. And you have this oasis built where you can show them how to properly work out, show them how to properly eat, show them how to properly work on their finances, just be a better person in the next 3 days. And it's like, now take the resources you learned and expedite that, and your ROI on that is going to be tenfold.
Yeah.
You get 10 people, you make 100 grand, but you change 10 people's lives. You got your passion, you're doing real estate, and you're helping people change their lives. Like, it's a no-brainer.
100%, because like my mission is literally to empower people to proactively design and truly live a life worth living. And if I can like work with them in person, like at a place that I've created to help them find all of that in their own life, and then actually like, you know, experience it for whether it's 3 days or a week, like now I'm like, that wouldn't be work. That would be straight play for me.
Now it's not work. Now you get a healthy chef out there to cook the meals that you told him to do while you're helping people get through. I mean, dude, the sky's the limit.
The
now
craziest thing is my mom has said to me that she wanted to turn her property into like a wellness retreat center. She told me this years ago. Like, that's her dream. And like, so
you should listen.
dude, and now I'm like, wait a minute, if I'm taking my friends and clients there, like, okay, maybe I can help my mom make her dream come alive while I make my, like, further develop on my mission and my dream. Like, dude.
Do you see why I say when you align your goals with kind of the things that God has for you, it almost seems too easy?
Yeah.
It's like it's there for you. Like, your mom wants you to do it. She probably wants to see you more. You have the land, you have the money, you have the clients, you have the resources, and you have the knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Put it together.
Yeah, dude.
You can make
I
tons
just
of money.
needed to have this conversation with you. That's what I needed.
I better be the first, and it better be free.
Yeah, buddy. Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Like, you just made my day. Seriously.
I hope so.
Like, I always write down like 3 big wins or gains from the day, and like this is definitely going to be number 1. So thank you, man.
Well, thank you. I'd love to see it. If my knowledge here can further and you help 10 more people, I'll feel like I was a part of it.
Oh yeah, brother. You are already a part of it. I mean, at least one other listener will benefit from it, not just me. So
yeah. And it's like you said earlier, Justin, like people don't have to be in health to do Airbnb, to do that. Like what you just did, like now just plug in your life to the strategy we just used and figure out what works for you.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you get started? Like, if you live in a place like the Bay Area where it's like so freaking expensive, like, do I just need to go start playing golf with rich people who can like go start playing golf with billionaires? Like, what do I do here?
Yeah. So I think we can both agree that expensive is relative to the person, to the eyes of who's looking at it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So one of the things that I would say is like up your knowledge if you think something's expensive and figure out how I'm gonna buy it. That's one of the first things I say. But like, let's just keep it realistic, right? Someone that's just starting is like, dude, I can't buy $750,000 home. Like, I need more affordable. So then what I would say is learn how to find off market opportunities. It's a muscle, so it's going to be hard at
Mm-hmm.
first, but learning how to go direct to seller. Direct to seller is just a fancy verbiage for, let's say, I'm the owner of the house and I have not listed my property. But what if somebody came to my door and was like, "Hey, Felipe, I know your house is worth 400,000. I'll give you $350,000 cash right now, as is, where is, how is." Probably think about it. So that, in my opinion, is going to be the best way to get into real estate. You're going to find houses with equity.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple ways that you can go about that. You can send mailers, cold calling, text messaging. You just hire a company to do it for
Mm-hmm.
you. Earlier, you said REI Call Center. So I own a company called REI Call Center. We have about 150 employees in Egypt. And what they do is they cold call people for us to help me find
Mm-hmm.
deals. So they will call up to 16,000 people a month in my area here in Tennessee and see if they want to sell their home. Now they're going to get about 15,800 FUs, but 200 people are going to say maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And in those 200, I will probably work on 20 of those deals and maybe close 2 or 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of work that needs to get done, but I hire it out.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying essentially like somebody like me who has resources, but I don't want to waste my time or my attention because that's what's most important to me. I would hire REI to like basically find me those off-market deals in the San Francisco Bay Area.
If that's where you want to invest, yeah, we will definitely call up all of San Francisco and the Bay Area and just call over and over and over again until someone says, yeah, I want to sell my house.
Okay. Now, what if I
And
wanted to
they
do
will.
it in the area in which I grew up in?
Yeah. So you can definitely do that too.
Okay, because like my brother and my family's there, and it's definitely cheaper than the Bay. But I feel like, and my brother, like he's amazing. Like he actually is Airbnb his place out, and he's really good at construction. So like I would have like a person on the ground, like, and even if he didn't do the work, he would know the people who could do the work that need to be done. And like we've been talking for years about going into real estate together.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. So let's just, I'm just going to throw out a city. Let's say, I don't know, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. What you do is you're going to get on PropStream. You're going to pull a list in that area of potential sellers.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use like tired landlords, meaning they've had the property for more than 10, 15 years, or divorcees, or, you can go whatever you want. And you pull that list and you're going to skip trace their phone numbers. You're going to pay 11 pennies per address to get their phone number. You're then going to, let's say that you got a list of 5,000 homes or something, right? So let's say 5,000,
Mm-hmm.
doing the math here, 5,000 times 11 cents.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cost you $550.
Mm-hmm.
$550, you're going to pull 5,000 phone numbers and you're going to give that list to REI Call Center, my cold calling company.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay us $1,000 a month and we're going to call those numbers over and over and over for you, asking the owners if they want to sell their home.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, 4,800, 4,900 people are going to say no. But at 100, we'll want to hear you out. And you just, are you a salesman? Can you close it? Can you ink a deal is what we say,
Mm-hmm.
right?
You meaning
So out of
like
those
they
100,
would give me the lead?
yes,
Okay.
they will give you the lead that, hey, this person had says yes, and now you take it from there.
Awesome. I've been a salesperson.
So what I would do
for
in
my career.
in my expertise is you could literally send those 100 to your brother and say, hey, these 100 homes, they said that they might potentially want to hear an offer. Which ones do you think we should pursue? And he'll look at those lists and say, hey, these are in good areas, or these are da-da-da-da, whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
And then you follow up on the leads that maybe your brother says we should follow up on these.
You're just helping me come up with my real estate empire game plan with my younger brother. Amazing. Okay, this is incredible. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about a few other kind of money related things. Are you at all like diversified in your kind of investments? Like, are you pure real estate? Or are you also into like stocks and bonds and crypto and other things?
Yeah, man. So I wish that I was more cooler. I'm not into like stocks at all. I did have a lot of crypto, obviously with the things crashing right now. It's gone a lot down. Probably lost a little bit more than half. but still holding strong. I've been in Bitcoin and some of the other cryptocurrencies when it was under 500
Oh,
bucks.
wow.
So I've been holding on for a very long time.
That's great.
Yeah, I just ride all the waves. 500 went to 25 bucks, I think. 1,000 then went down to $200. 20,000 went down to 9,000, and now 65 has gone down to 20. So I've seen this 4 times already.
Yeah. Hey there, just a few words about the incredible show sponsors for today's episode, and then we'll dig right back in. Today's show is brought to you by Fit Rich Vegan. If you're ready to get in the best shape of your life, double your income, and 10x your savings and investments, then this is the coaching program for you. But wait a minute, Dragon. Isn't this your coaching program? Heck yeah, it is. I spent the last 8 years mastering my fitness and my finances, and I've built an incredible coaching program with an incredible team to help you get the body of your dreams and finally achieve that level of financial success that you've been seeking. So if you want to find out if you're a good fit for the program, go to fitrichvegan.com and book your free consultation today. Or you can just DM me on Instagram with the words Fit Rich Vegan, and we can chat about if it's going to be a good fit for you. I'm committed to empowering people to actually achieve their fitness and financial goals. I spent the last 20 years trying to figure this out on my own. And what I realized is the key to doing it is not doing it alone. You have to have coaches, you have to have mentors, and you have to be a part of masterminds. And that's exactly what Fit Rich Vegan has. It has coaches, mentors, and it is a mastermind. So again, if you're ready to book your free consultation today, go to fitrichvegan.com or drop me a DM on Instagram. Yeah, I just interviewed Sean Pan. Sean loves real estate a day or two ago, and he made this incredible Instagram story or reel where he's like, God, please like bring crypto down to like a price where I can like get in. And then it's like, now it's down again. And everyone's like, of course, most people aren't going to invest because they're like, well, it's going down. Why would I invest? So I forget the exact quote, but it's like, you know, the Warren Buffett quote, like, be greedy when the, like, I'll maybe put it in the show notes. People are like, what the hell is he talking about? But it's a very common Warren Buffett quote, basically about like buying when everyone's scared. And yeah, that's what's going on right now. Okay.
The Rothschild family said it, I think, really nice and eloquent. They said, buy when there's blood in the streets.
Yeah. Okay. And one note I want to call out, you were very like subtle about it, but basically you buy and hold, you don't buy and sell like for crypto. Like, so like a lot of people who get into money or don't really get any level of mastery, they basically like they buy and sell and they're spinning their wheels because they end up buying when it's high and selling when it's low, and they just lose a bunch of money. And the easiest way to make like the best investors are dead investors, meaning they like put their money in and then they can't sell anything because they're dead. So literally they've done studies on this, and it's like dead people have like the highest returns because they never freaking sell. So
I realized that you can't lose if you don't sell.
yeah,
Literally that simple. You cannot lose if you don't.
Yeah.
sell.
And of course, like if you're, you know, quick disclaimer, this is purely for entertainment purposes only. We are not professional investment advisors. Please seek professional advice. But going back to that whole thing, like if you're invested in like individual stocks, it can go to zero. That's why like I'm a fan of index funds, because like an index fund, you know, the S&P 500, like it's like if one of those companies dies, the next biggest company just comes right back in. So it will never die. So you can lose your shirt investing in like a single stock. You know, Enron, perfect example. Like everyone thought Enron was the shit. And it was for years until like they found out there was a bunch of bad shit going on behind, and that thing went to zero. And a lot of people lost all their money. And you're never going to know what the next Enron is. So it's okay to potentially invest in individual stocks as long as you're invested in several or many individual stocks, and you're not putting all your eggs literally in one basket.
Right.
Boom. Okay. So good time for people to buy crypto. If you've been holding
I would say
off,
so.
now's the time to get in
Yep.
while it's low. And my personal opinion, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're not going to go anywhere. Like they are around for the long run. So like don't play with all these other weird coins. You know what
Right.
I
I
mean?
agree.
Just stick to Bitcoin kicked the whole revolution off. It's probably not going anywhere. And again, don't put all your money in crypto. Like that's very dumb idea. Then you're gonna if all your money's in crypto, your net worth is gonna be like swinging around like a wild flopping fish, and it's gonna be really stressful unless you have a really high risk tolerance, which most of us don't.
Gotcha. Yeah, I try to keep it simple. Land, dirt, and crypto is what I'm in. And like I said, if I don't sell it, I don't think I can lose right
Yep.
now. I just don't think it's going anywhere.
All right. Do you mind sharing your net worth right now?
Sure. So in real estate, I think I'm at like 5.2.
Wow.
And then with all my holdings, I can't remember the last time I looked, but it was somewhere in like 6.5.
And that's minus what you owe. Wow, that's great. So basically, in 2 years, you went from millionaire to like 5.2.
But it wasn't hard, man. In this in this bull market, like everyone kind of won. The more you had, the more it went up,
Yeah.
right? So net worth is kind of relative to the market. So as the market shifts, that might go down.
Yeah.
I look more at monthly cash flow, and I'll just say that I'm over 12,000 a month. So I live in Nashville, Tennessee. Plus, I'm financially independent. Plus, we do about 10 to 12,000 in cash flow a month just off the rentals. That's not even my businesses or anything else. So I count that more importantly than net worth.
Yeah. That's amazing. So basically, you have $12,000 coming in. That is more than going to cover your cost of living where you live, unless you're living like a crazy person and spending, which I have to, call it out for the audience. In my coaching business and just among my friends, I know lots of people who make 300,000 to 800,000 plus that are literally 3 to 4 months away from completely running out of money because they spend it all. So lifestyle creep is for real.
Super
Yeah.
real.
And one of the keys to financial independence is not inflating your lifestyle above and beyond what your cash flow is as well.
And like I said, 10 to 12,000 doesn't sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's because people are like, oh, I got a mortgage payment and a car payment and this and that. And it's like, no. Let me say that again. 12,000 free and clear.
Yeah.
Like after everything.
Yeah.
It's like my dinners are not going to cost me 12.
Yeah. So literally all you have
that's
is food, car, and the basic things like telephone and
no. Nothing.
Oh, you write it all off.
Yeah. My business pays for all of it. I don't even have my phone bill. Like I said, everything is gone.
What about food?
That's covered for mostly by our business as well.
Okay. This is great.
You can too. It's literally your business.
Yeah. No, that's genius. Okay. I think this leads into my next question. What is a rich life to you?
Yeah, that's a great one. And when I've talked about this in the past, like a rich life is a simple sentence to me. It's being able to do what I want, right? So let's do the first part, being able to do what I want. So if I want to go to Mexico for a week, I go to Mexico for a week. If I want to be able to just hang out with my wife on a random Wednesday, I can go hang out with my wife on a random. So doing what I want. The next one is with who I want. So I now get to choose who I want to be around. If I don't want to have a job, I don't have to have a boss. I don't want to be around that person. If I don't want to be around somebody's bad energy, I don't have to anymore. So with doing what I want, with who I want. And the last one to that is when I want. So allowing myself to do what I want with who I want, when I want, is living a rich life.
I love that. Okay. What are you doing in your free time then? What else are you passionate about besides real estate?
Yeah, so I'm learning to play golf. I really have taken that up. I've liked that quite a bit. And just getting back to my health has been huge this year, because the last 5 years I've been grinding, trying to build my empire, raising my son, who is now 4 years old. like that has took precedent over like health and like everything else. So right now it's getting back into eating better habits, working out consistently every day for 2 hours with my gym partner. Not because of it's 2 hours, but like I try to give myself those 2 hours. Do I finish it every time? No. Like sometimes like we're done an hour and a half,
Yeah.
but giving myself 2 hours a day to work out and just kind of setting those standards for myself, I think is what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I mean, I go to the gym for 2 to 3 hours, not because I need to, but because it's like you asked me at the beginning of the show, like fitness is a lifestyle for you or for me. So for me, like going to the gym is like going to the playground. Like, why would I want to go to the playground for only like 30 or 40 minutes, which I can get everything I need to do done in 30 to 40. But like, if I can go play for 2 to 3 hours versus 30 to 40, like what would you choose? Like more playtime or less playtime? So I love that, man. I love that we're connecting right now because I'm all about that fitness and well being. So,
Oh man.
okay, how many hours per day and week do you currently work?
So my goal is always to be done by
Mm.
noon. And I
That's
still
great.
answer a text here and there. I still answer texts and emails here and there, and I try to be off my phone. But like working really never stops because for me, like my whole life is on my
Hmm.
phone. Every business, everything. If I can't do it from my phone, I try not to do
Hmm.
it. Like I think everyone should live that way. If you can't handle business by your phone, then you have another job. If you're looking for financial independence, you better be able to run it by your
Hmm.
phone. But yeah, I try to be like done by noon,
Gotcha. And what time do you start then?
like 9:30.
No, it's great. Okay, so in my view, 3 to 4 hours of work, 3 to 4 hours of work, 3 to 4 days a week is like my perfect dream state amount of work. Like I love to
That's
work.
what I do.
And sometimes like when I'm
So
excited about stuff, I will work way more because I'm excited about it.
sure.
But like for me, I'm super effective when I work like 3 to 4 hours a day, 3 to 4 days a week, because then like I'm super present, I'm super engaged. Like I want to be there when I'm there, and then like I go invest in the other areas of my life, and I'm really excited about those areas. You know what I mean? I'm filling all these other cups, so that way when I am at work, I'm not like, oh, like I wish I was doing something else. Like, no, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm excited to work. So that's amazing. I love it. That's 3.5 hours. Like, is that Monday through Friday?
Typically, usually I have Fridays off, but
Okay,
yeah.
great. All right. We've kind of covered this, but I just want to like nuance it out.
Sure.
How do you proactively design and truly live a life worth living?
Yeah, so I think when I first started, I would kind of live my life around work. Like when I was able to, I was with my family. When I was able to, I was, and then I started doing it the other way around, and it kind of worked a lot better. And it's really cliche because I think I've heard other people say it, but if you can structure what you want your life to look like, and then work around that, you will be more happy, and you're gonna make more money. Why? Because you're actually gonna be passionate about the things that you're doing. I would rather have somebody passionately work for me 3 hours a day for 5 days a week than someone who is not sold out on the mission and passion and work 9 hours a day for me.
So true.
So when you can structure your life around passionately working around your life, you will make more money even if you work
Yeah,
less.
I love that. So basically, for you, it's family, it's your health and well being.
Okay, so you want to know what's in my inner circle? I'll answer
Yeah.
it this way. My inner circle consists of my family, my friends, and my mastermind. That is where I do spend my
Mm-hmm.
time. And my health and myself and all that. But like my family, my friends and my health, and my mastermind, Rat Race to
Yeah.
Fi. That is where those things are kind of
Yeah.
non-negotiables. Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central, my wife knows that I am on a Zoom call from about 7:30 to about 9:30 in front of my computer, mentoring my mentees on how to get out of the
Yeah.
rat race.
I love that. Might have to join that. Great. So, what new and exciting, like anything new and exciting, or like what are you most excited about in life right now? You probably mentioned it, but I just want to make sure we covered everything.
Yeah, I think right now I'm excited to see where the market is going in regards to real estate because of all the shifts that's
Yeah.
happening. For a lot of people, this might be like a scary situation, but I think for real estate investors, this is going to be like the biggest break that we're going to get in a while because right now everyone and anyone can buy real estate. But now that the market is shifting a smidge, I'm excited to see a lot of people get pushed out of buying because they don't know how. They've just gotten lucky. Like you can buy a house and then a year later it's worth twice as much just because the market was going up. You're not going to be able to do that for long. So I'm excited to see those people get out and real investors like myself be able to buy more.
So basically the changing market is going to create more opportunities for someone like you who is, always learning and earning.
Right. Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. Any last words of wisdom?
Man, I think I said it earlier. Don't stop earning just because you're learning. Like if you're in the learning phase, be earning during that time as well. Like it's okay to make mistakes. Buy a house, buy a rental, invest in yourself. Go get a marketing, like a cold caller, to find off-market deals for you, because that's going to be the best way that you're going to continue to earn while you learn. Don't think you have to have it all figured out to start investing. That's the mistake that I made.
That's so true. Like you literally learn why you take action. So you can learn and then you can double down on your learning while taking action, because you'll make mistakes and you'll learn from the mistakes.
Right.
Awesome. I love that. All right. Best place to find you if people want to connect with you?
The best place for me is probably going to be Instagram, Felipe Mejia REI. That's spelled FelipeMejia REI. It's going to be the best way to get in touch with me.
Perfect. Awesome, brother. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I deeply appreciate you.
Dragon, it's a pleasure to be here.
Hell yeah. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, literally everything can be used as an opportunity to learn, to heal, to grow, and to transform. So whatever is going on in your life, choose to consciously and proactively harness that energy and use it to alchemize your life to the next level. If you enjoyed the show, please share it with a friend or on your favorite social media, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. As always, you can find me at Justin David Carl on Instagram and all the socials, as well as at alchemizelife.com on the web. Until the next time, sending you lots of energy and plenty of dragon magic.